Lee and Cheryl's dream is to move to Spain and breed snails.
So you see him, he's giving it one.
And after nearly 4 years of searching, they finally found the perfect property in Mora d'Ebre, south of Barcelona.
You couldn't wish for a better place than this, you see.
In fact, Lee was so keen to buy the Villa Angelita, he even offered to pay for it then and there on his credit card.
I took out my Platinum American Express and said, Eddie, there it is now.
The only problem was, Eddie, the owner, wasn't sure he wanted to sell it to them.
I could possibly sell it to Lee the first he flashed me the card. Anyway, I didn't know if the card was a bona fide or not.
So while they waited for Eddie to make up his mind, they went to view another, totally derelict property.
2 bedrooms, 50 square metres at least you can put onto this.
And though Lee could see the potential, Cheryl wasn't so sure.
Seriously, I think he's off his head.
So in the end, they decided it was Villa Angelita or nothing.
Yeah, this is it. It's the business.
What does he want, Lee?
And a call from Eddie confirmed it would be nothing.
Go on, what do you want?
After the disappointment of losing out on the Villa Angelita, Lee and Cheryl must make the long journey back to the Costa del Sol. With a promise of 300 days of sunshine a year, this strip of coast has been a firm favourite of the British for decades. It's also Spain's primary tourist destination and accounts for over 8 million holidaymakers every year. But Lee and Cheryl are not here on holiday.
Well, we are getting fed up, but yeah, I suppose I'm a bit of a romantic, and I do really enjoy the chase. Now, if a guy says if you go up the road 5 miles, there's somebody up there selling oranges for 50 pence a kilo, and if you go a mile on, you sell them for 30 pence. And it's the same with property. If you're looking at a property, there's always, perhaps, if you buy that one, you might miss a deal on another one.
I know that where I want to have a few months peace and quiet, I know that he can't do that. It's not in his makeup. He has to be doing something all the time. That's the only thing that we're going to differ on. But the actual area and the type of place that we're looking for, we're both looking for the same place, hopefully.
The Costa del Sol appears to boast more bars per square metre than any other resort in Europe, and many of them are British-owned. The Dolphin Bar, for instance, has been Lee and Cheryl's regular watering hole for the last 3 years. And after the past few grueling days, they're happy to see some familiar faces.
We want them on the menu next time we come over.
Snails?
Yeah.
Snails aren't very Spanish, though, are they?
Of course
we're
they are.
getting told off, we've Snails got an are English French. menu. It's a meat and 2 veg man.
Lee and Cheryl are due to fly back to Wales tomorrow, but Lee's getting itchy feet again. So surely there must be time for one more wild goose chase before we all go home?
We'll be looking for the rest of our lives, I personally think.
There are a couple of properties we've been looking at.
Well,
the one is
yeah.
up in Camaras. What we might do is go up there again and have another look and see what, you know.
It was a beautiful area,
And it's only an hour from here, you see.
That's right.
because there is an agent there in the village, isn't there?
I'm sure it'd be well worth another look.
The village of Camaras sits high on a hilltop to the east of Malaga, some 50 kilometres inland from the coast. Lee has called the local estate agent and discovered that a house they passed on almost a year ago is still on the market, priced at €98,000. And so they've decided they'll come back here to view it again. But the house is situated in a small, inaccessible hamlet, several hundred metres below Camaras. And while there is a road of sorts that leads down to the property, because of a local dispute, they're not allowed to use it.
You think about me carrying a bloody fridge or a washing machine, don't you?
It's a long walk down, and this is the reason they wisely rejected the house in the first place.
Let's have another look at the house, see if you like it.
Oh, all right, don't keep on, dear. We're nearly there.
The views are excellent, though, and there are two attractive terraces with the house, one at the front and one at the rear. There's even a swimming pool of sorts. But it's the inside that won them over on their previous visit.
And here it is.
Oh, yes, now I can remember. I love that stove.
It doesn't take long for their enthusiasm to be rekindled, and very soon they appear to have mentally moved in.
Oh, I think we're going to have a bit of...
A bit of a kitchen.
I think we'll have to have a bit more of a kitchen, though, if we were going to get this, wouldn't we?
Just a bit.
The only bathroom is situated, slightly bizarrely, off the living room, but it's delightfully unique in its decor.
That's what I remember about the bathroom.
Right,
The shower is just amazing.
It's okay.
It is. It's really cool. I like it.
Yeah. This won't be high enough for me.
Oh, you'd have to make it higher, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But I mean, you wouldn't really want to put a new shower in there, would you?
No, we can shower together.
For the first time in days, the smiles have returned to Lee and Cheryl's faces. There's just one bedroom, but Lee's already redesigned it as an ensuite.
Through there. Right, if you put another doorway through here.
Well, where does that go?
Onto the top of the kitchen. The bath.
Yeah! I didn't realise that. It had a flat roof. Yeah.
Right.
I'm getting to like this.
Oh, I'm glad about that.
I'm only concerned about you carrying the fridge along the wooded track. And how far we'd have to walk to go for a beer.
You are thinking about me for once. Huh?
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
right. Yeah. Right, so I think we've decided now. We'll go up and see the agent, and we'll see if the problem with the road is resolved, because we've got to have access, because there's no way on this planet I can carry fridges and washing machines and goodness knows what along the drive.
But what do you think now? So
we want to buy it.
You want to buy it?
We
want to
do
buy it,
want to
yeah.
buy it, yeah.
Compared with the
now
other
we've
one.
seen it for the second time.
But
Yeah.
you have said that about every place you've seen so far.
Yeah, this is true. But no, this is it. It's in our budget. We'll definitely buy it.
You will?
Yeah, if
definitely.
they sort the road out.
It's got everything we want. It's got water. It's got electricity. It's a lovely
It's in a
spot.
lovely
There's a
spot.
lovely views. You couldn't ask for better than this.
So, it's back to Kamara's and a meeting behind closed doors with the estate agent. And, unbelievably, the news looks good. After calls to the other homeowners in the hamlet, it looks like he might have cracked the problem with the road.
It turned out that the owner of the house hadn't actually paid his share, so he was too embarrassed to actually use the road because he hadn't paid his share. And so the agent has said, look, whatever happens, when he sells the house, £1,000 of that will go to pay the road.
So,
It's
does that
fine.
mean you're going to go and buy it then?
It means we already have put a deposit down and it's our house.
deposit, and it's ours.
You gave him a deposit?
We've paid him a
It's all
deposit of
done.
£2,000.
I'll be back over in a fortnight. And
So just a minute. You've
No, it's
finally
done,
put a
it's
deposit
done,
on a
it's
house?
done.
yeah, after
Yes.
3 years we found it. Yeah.
Yes. It's the end of the quest.
So, a highly eventful 6 days in Spain ends with last-minute success. And for the time being, at least, it's back home to the day-to-day routine of their lives in Wales. For Cheryl, this means a return to the daily grind of office work.
I've been in the same job for 33 years, apart from a couple of years to have my kids, and I just can't wait to get away.
While Lee is straight off to see the other woman in his life.
Well, I'm going down my usual trek down to see Gran and take a couple of sweets, and I've got a Mackerson, a medicine we call it, because it replaces the iron tablets she used to take.
After 5 marriages and countless affairs, the one consistent relationship for Lee has been with his grandmother. She's now 102 years old.
This is Gran's abode, home then. It took her 2 years to get used to staying here, actually. But it's now, you couldn't take her out of here now because she'd be lost. Morning, girls. Well, good morning. How are you? You all right? All right? Yeah. I brought you some medicine. And there's your sweets. There you are. Are you all right today? So we got that, because you like a drop of that, don't you? You're not so keen on a whiskey now, though, are you? No. No, we don't like the whiskey. She didn't like the whiskey now, did she?
I should have known. He wants a
For Cheryl, the ties to home, and certainly family, are not so strong. Since her father's death, the family insurance business has been taken over by her brother. There's not much love lost between them, and he runs a tight ship.
Right, I'm not going to miss the petty things. This is my pen, right? This is my work pen. It's got my name on it. The reason it's got my name on it is because we have to keep our pens. We have to only use our pens. Now, when this pen runs out, I have to then put it in an envelope, a used envelope, OK? Then I have to send it down to Cardiff office. And then when it gets to Cardiff office, I write, please replace this pen. He sees it's empty. He puts another pen in the envelope and he sends it back. But I will miss that.
That's Gran's picture. There, you see how she was then on 100. And she was ever so proud that the Queen had sent a telegram. Believe it or not, she wouldn't drink champagne, so we had to have white wine with sugar in it. And it looks just the same as champagne. But she would have champagne no way, no how. So we got white wine and put a bit of sugar in it, and it looks like champagne, so... Your hands are cold. Are you warm enough?
Lee's clearly very close to his grandmother, and he usually visits her every day. But the impending move to Spain means that soon he'll only be able to see her once a month.
And I'll come and see you tomorrow, all right?
For now, he can't bring himself to tell her he'll be leaving.
Right, I'll put these in the kitchen, all right? Loves you to pieces.
She's 102, and as long as she's alive, he will keep coming back to visit her. She's very, very frail. It's going to be hard for him, yeah, but let's get on with it. Let's go.
Now that Lee and Cheryl's move to Spain has become a reality, Lee is beginning to panic about the practicalities of their new life. His plan is to breed snails, but he's beginning to realise that he doesn't actually know much about it. So, in preparation, he and Cheryl travel to L'Escargot Anglais in Hereford, where they have an appointment to visit Tony Vaughan, apparently one of Britain's top snail farmers and supplier to many of London's poshest restaurants.
Hello.
Mr. Vaughan.
It is I.
This is Cheryl.
How do you do?
How do you do?
And I'm Lee.
Under Tony's watchful eye, L'Escargot Anglais produces over 250,000 snails a year.
You are the expert, we believe.
Yes.
So we'd like the knowledge that you have, because we're going over to Spain and we'd like to breed snails in Spain.
The first thing I've got to ask is why is it that you want to farm snails?
I was intrigued about 30-odd years ago. I was driving through Frome and I saw a sign on the side of the road and it said, come to the snail exhibition. And I've been intrigued by snails ever since, to be honest with you. So this is where we've now decided this is what we're going to do. And also, I see a niche in the market for it, because I haven't seen anybody over there that produces snails.
I've got to ask you, how much research have you done into farming snails?
Absolutely
minimal.
none.
Tony has been successfully farming snails for 16 years. And fortunately for Lee and Cheryl, he's not slow to give advice.
First snail we're going to look at is this one here. It's called a Helix aspersa mulla. It's the only snail
amongst all the snails, that does not have to be eviscerated.
Right. What does that mean?
Now, evisceration means the removal of the visceral mass. This part here has to be removed. Normally, when the snail is being prepared, you have got to have equally as good a product as what nature can produce.
Right.
But with one added advantage, a constant, regular supply. What is important here is that you have to produce an awful lot to make a living. On average, during the summer period, that's when they're freely available, they get £2,000 a tonne. It works out to 2p a snail.
Go on, then.
Now, I'll go into the barn.
At 2p a snail, they're clearly going to have to breed a lot of them. So they're keen to see where the action takes place.
OK, come on in. This is the breeding area. Please watch the steps. They're quite steep.
OK.
This is where all the
Action happens, isn't
all
it?
the sex is going on in here, is it?
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's the sort of...
Right.
Oh, they're mating.
He's quite well endowed.
You can see that.
Oh, right.
So you can see him, he's giving it one.
Don't be rude.
Initial growing.
But snail farming is a serious enterprise, and they've got a lot to learn.
In here, you collect the eggs.
Little clutches of eggs.
How to bounce snail eggs, for instance.
Rather unusual.
Go on. Right. Oh, right. That's his party trick, bouncing snail eggs.
Notice, if there are any snails on the bottom, they'll come up.
Right.
If they don't come up, they're dead. So you never really want to worry about anything at the bottom. What you're interested in is on the sides and on the lid.
Right, yeah.
And these...
Well, look at that.
I've been in here for about 4 weeks now. We will now take out all the big
All
ones.
the big ones, yeah.
Ah, right.
What we're trying to do isn't so much to try and grow them anymore.
No.
We're trying to firm them up, strengthen the shell.
Oh, that's super.
So we're going to the...
Now, it's going to show you...
Lee's plan is to make the most of the warmer Spanish climate and to breed snails organically in the open air. So Tony's outside pens are of particular interest to him.
So in here, we have our snails.
This is what you were talking
Yeah,
about.
right.
There are 1,500 in here.
They're all on the other side of the plastic.
But if I open this up...
Right.
Oh, yeah, look at them
There's
all.
millions of them.
Wow.
Well.
I told you there was a lot of snails on there.
Yeah.
So you think this might be all right for me?
This will be one of the things that you would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, these would certainly work
Yeah, this type
in
of
Spain,
thing.
and I would have them outdoors sitting on grass.
Cheryl, when she first came up this morning, she wasn't really interested in what she was going into. Snails were like, yeah, OK. But now...
Well, it wasn't really my thing.
But
it was his idea, and I did wonder why he dragged me up here. But now I'm very, very surprised. It was very, very interesting.
Finally, though, they must learn how to dispatch their unfortunate
A
produce.
relatively basic kitchen.
Right, yeah.
And we would blanch our snails in here. 3/4 full of boiling water, lots of salt and vinegar. These ones are cooked.
Yeah.
Right.
And what we've done, these are blast frozen, and these will be their bags of 100. So once we've done 1,000 or so, that's it. We stop for the day.
Ah, right.
They leave the farm uplifted in the knowledge that Lee's apparently madcap idea could work.
Very informative.
A day in school, but it was well worth it. It was, really.
But back home in Caerphilly, Lee is now seriously panicking about their move to Spain, and more specifically about the suitability of the house they have chosen. The mood in the home has become decidedly tense.
I don't want them.
But you won't.
Enough to do, all right?
Will you please calm down?
Oh, you've been on the happy pills again, haven't you?
What?
Nothing. Come on, then. Right, I'm going to now take the dogs for a run.
Right.
Right.
OK.
While Lee's having doubts about buying the house and having to leave his gran, for Cheryl, the move cannot come soon enough.
This last week has been a nightmare, a total nightmare. The stress of it all. I haven't got any regrets about leaving this place. You know, I'm not in love with it or anything, so it's not going to be any tears of emotion or anything. It's just, we got to get away.
The But Cheryl is fighting a losing battle in her bid to encourage Lee to take the plunge. Relations finally break down between them, and for nearly a week they won't speak to one another, or indeed to us. One thing is clear, however, Lee's concerns about the house have deepened. Finally, Lee admits that he's decided to pull out of buying the house, citing lack of access as his reason.
It's the old adage, all that glistens is not gold.
We made a mistake.
I made a mistake.
I
took it on good faith that the road would be accessible. Yes, it is in the summer. In the winter, it would not be accessible unless I bought a 4x4.
When the rain comes down, you can see the great big rivulets that it makes in the road. And he's saying, just imagine what it would be like if you were driving down there and it was raining and it was muddy and all the rest of it. And yes, I could see his point. Reluctantly, I could see his point. It didn't stop me liking the house, though.
But
and there was plenty of room around that we could have done the snails and we could have had chickens and we could have had a run for the dogs.
For Lee, to have lost his deposit, to be at the losing end of a deal, is a tremendous blow to his pride. But he's doing his best to put a brave face on things.
We were told not to give the money to an agent. Make sure you have a solicitor and do everything properly. But me, donut, I've given the money to the agent and we've lost it. So, all right, we'll swallow that. We'll call it, that was a lesson in life, you know, so it cost us 2,000 quid. So now we've decided that we're going over now in a week and we're going to rent a place over there for 3 months.
Yeah, we're going over next week. And we're going to look for somewhere temporarily, just to give us some sort of base.
When Cheryl finishes work...
We're fed up of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We want to go over there, get a feel of the place, and then just look for what we want.
In the next programme, Lee and Cheryl return to Spain and have just 3 days to find a place to rent. So it's lucky that an old mate of Lee's has promised he has the perfect property. Trouble is, they can't get hold of him.
He's got to be there one day.
One day, yeah.
Unless he's left his phone somewhere. I don't think he's let us down. I just think he's either
he's
forgotten...
gone on a pop, that's what happened.
Yeah, I think he's either forgotten or as you
So
say,
we just have to wait.
left his phone. 822.
No answer.
Great.
So they're forced to investigate some rather unsuitable alternatives for themselves.
So this monster
And
here,
this is
the
it?
grey and black one, is the...
All right.
This is it.
OK.
It's the sexy cabin, that one.
Oh, right, OK. Oh, yeah. Right, OK.
Will that do? Right, there you go.
Oh, trust you.
You'll find it so relaxing sleeping on
And
here.
it's so cool
because it's
down
got
there.
the portholes.
It's so cool
You've got
in
a
the summer.
constant breeze.
Has it got water and electricity?
Yes.
Well, that's the main thing.
It hasn't got a bathroom, so you would have to get a
Ah,
bathroom.
right.
Yeah.
So one of these
But
rooms...
this is it. This is it.
Yeah.
It's got 3 basic rooms.
And where would the
know, it's a
bathroom
bit-
go?
I can see you reading the paper.